So in the vein of the Orange Bowl, between Notre Dame and Penn State, thought it could be a healthy exercise for us to just break down who the top players are in this game. Anyone can name top players, right? We could tell you Tyler Warren's really good, could tell you that Riley Leonard's really good and all that, but like a little bit more fun for us to rank them, no? Then we can have a little bit more discussion. So I want to give this preface, though, before we jump into our top 10. We'll go 10 up to 1. There's a lot of players for Notre Dame that would be on this list if I knew more about their health level. Like Jeremiah Love, for me, is probably a top 5 player on this list, top 3 player on this list even maybe. If he's healthy, I don't know what he's going to look like in this spot. The Georgia game doesn't inspire a ton of confidence. Sounds like he's going to be ready to go from Marcus Freeman, but I don't know what I'm getting. So this is a top 10 list now that is the top 10 players right now heading into this game. So Howard Cross also would be on this list. Again, I'm not 100% sure what he's going to be. Ben Morrison obviously would be a top 3 guy if he was healthy, and he's not playing in this game. It hasn't for a minute for Notre Dame. But just want to make sure we give that disclaimer before we jump into this list, because I know there's going to be a lot of folks saying, no Howard Cross, guy doesn't know ball. No Jeremiah Love, guy doesn't know ball. I hear you. It's our own prerogative, but I'm looking forward to hearing y'all's take on this as well. So, for me, the 10th best player in this Orange Bowl is Notre Dame wide receiver Jordan Faison. Jordan Faison, lax bros everywhere, stand up. Bill Belichick somewhere probably trying to tamper Jordan Faison into the portal. I kid, but you hear what I'm saying. He's the best true wide receiver in this game. He's done a really phenomenal job for them stepping up in this playoff run. The Indiana game, he was massive. Had a huge 4th down conversion against Georgia that got called back, which, I mean, if I'm a Notre Dame fan, I am throwing every beverage I have at the television screen after seeing that call. It was malarkey. Jordan Faison, though, for me, has to be in this top 10 with what he brings to Notre Dame, how I think he's going to impact this game. Major X Factor vibes for Jordan Faison, Notre Dame wide receiver. At number 9, we'll go to Penn State here. The safety, Jalen Reed, man, 13 tackles in 2 games for the Nittany Lions. He, to me, is just like a small sample size of what they want to be from an identity perspective on that side of the football. Fly around, knock your block off, be physical, be aggressive. He does a lot adding in the run game. That's going to be huge now, especially with Riley Leonard and his legs in this spot. A lot of times, Notre Dame's going to dial it up to where they want to get everybody blocked and then leave the safety for the ball carrier. That ball carrier is going to be lined up, I think, more often than not with a Jalen Reed. So he'll have a massive role in this game, and to me, he's definitely a top 10 player in this game. We got him at number 9. At number 8, you could have this dude a lot higher on this list. In fact, I think a lot of people watching this will probably have this dude a lot higher on this list. But to me, running back Nick Singleton, definitely a top 10 player on this list. Again, some of this is like recency bias heading into this game. He's been phenomenal. It's just tough to put him ahead of some of these other guys. He's a real deal home run hitter that can break this Orange Bowl wide open. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we came in here the day after the game and we talk about, wow, it was back and forth. It was great in the trenches. And then Nick Singleton, similar to that game against Boise State, puts the nail in the coffin, number 10 with the Jets, runs off on the plug, and ends up being the difference maker. Big-time player for Penn State. Obviously, one of 2 big-time players in the running back position for Penn State. To me, he's number 8 on this list. And number 7, denied Dennis Sutton. No Robin to Abdul Carter's Batman. It's just Batman and Batman. Like, he does a phenomenal job cleaning up a lot of what happens when Abdul Carter gets pressure off the edge. Big-time defensive lineman for Penn State will be obviously a huge factor in this game, as it'll be a freaking trench warfare between Penn State and Notre Dame. But yeah, man, he is a little bit looked over because of Abdul Carter, but I think he needs to get a lot more credit because he is an absolute dog for them in the trenches. At number 6, Riley Leonard, quarterback for Notre Dame. Some people are going to say this dude is way too low on this list. Some people will say he's way too high. I hear arguments for both sides. To me, he embodies who Notre Dame is as a football team. All right? The reason why I say that, what we said in the last segment. Dude's just going to find a way. He's going to find a way. It might be running for 80 yards. It might be 90 yards passing. It might be 1 touchdown through the air. Like, it might be him jumping over someone on 3rd and 7 to get a first down. But, like, this team goes as he goes. Tremendous leader. Had a sick little streak during the regular season of 8 rushing touchdowns. He has responded to the adversity thrown his way early on in the year like an absolute pro. Riley Leonard, whether it be the intangibles, whether it be the physical skill set, for me, he is number 6 in this game when it comes to top 10 players in this Orange Bowl. It's a brand new year here in 2025, and we're all about setting goals and also actually hitting those goals. That's why I want to talk to you today about our sponsor, Huel, spelled Huel. the global complete nutrition brand trusted by millions. Their Black Edition ready to drink is a complete meal in a bottle, high in protein, low in sugar, and packed with all the nutrients your body needs to perform at its best. And right now, new customers can try it for 15% off plus a free gift using our code on this show, code HARDCOUNT15. All right, so I know a lot of us got a lot going in the mornings. Maybe you can't make all the time to cook yourself some bacon and eggs. Huel got you covered. Again, got all the nutrients you need to keep you rolling throughout the day. Perfectly balanced meal designed by experts to provide all the nutrients that your body needs. So that's 15% off plus a free new gift for customers with the code HARDCOUNT15 at Huel.com. Start your year off strong, unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel, nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. Again, that's 15% off plus a gift for all new customers using code HARDCOUNT15. Now staying in the quarterback lane, Drew Aller for us. Penn State's quarterback is number 5 on this list. He's a hooper, man. He's a hooper, and we talked about it yesterday during a one-off segment for Prize Picks. Last year was kind of a weird deal in a lot of ways because of Penn State's offensive limitations. You kept asking if you're a Penn State fan to see them open it up more and see more downfield magic. I think a lot of us, too, were like, hey, Drew Aller, what gives, man? You were supposed to be this dog for us. And what this season has shown me, what this playoff has shown me even, is like Drew Aller is not the governor on this offense. He's not going to be the problem for you. Do you wish you had more skilled players to stretch it downfield? Sure. But there's a couple of throws that he makes, man. Frozen ropes, seeds. I mean, he's got the arm talent to throw it any which way. It's interesting also to talk about this kind of as a subplot. Like Drew Aller now, if Penn State wins this game, go plays for a national championship, I mean, where does he go if he wants to actually change his mind and go to the draft? I don't know how that discussion could work or would work, but Drew Aller, for me, forget the stat line. You watch him play. He is more than good enough for Penn State and is not the problem in the passing game, and we've seen that now. At number 4, Kaytron Allen. 7 yards per carry in this playoff. The same way that I said Riley Leonard essentially embodies who Notre Dame is, I think Kaytron Allen embodies who Penn State wants to be. Downhill, physical, smash mouth. He's been sensational in their 2-game playoff run so far. Forget if I mentioned already or not. 7 yards per carry. I don't care who it was against. He's getting north-south, and he's going to set the tone for them. If you want Drew Aller to drop bombs downfield, you got to have Kaytron Allen demand some attention in that box, and I think he'll do that, and I think it'll be a big game for Kaytron Allen in this spot on the Orange Bowl. And number 3, going back to the Notre Dame side, finally, Xavier Watts. The best NFL prospect for Notre Dame, 17 total tackles in this playoff. Similar to what we said about Jalen Reed for Penn State. They're going to ask a lot of him to be active and come up and fill in the box against those running backs. 6 interceptions on the year. Plucky, ball magnet, feels like he's everywhere at once. Had a big pick against Indiana already in this playoff. But for me, number 3 in this playoff when it comes to top 10 players. In this Orange Bowl, that is. And number 2, this dude is probably number 1 if he's healthy. Abdul Carter. Edge for Penn State, linebacker for Penn State, whatever you want to call him. He is one of those guys now that if he gets in the Normatec, gets in the ice tub, gets in that hyperbaric chamber, and he rolls out and is just ready to play at his peak in this spot, adrenaline kicks in, he could take over the game. He's that good. He could wreck the entire game for Notre Dame. That potential exists because of what he is off the edge and because of the fact that, quite frankly, you can't block him with one guy. And if you do, well, then he's going to get home. And if you try to bring 2 guys to block him, well, then Sutton's also getting his. So Abdul Carter absolutely could be number 1. I'm going to put him at 2 because of the health factor. At number 1, if you've done process of elimination playing at home right now, Tyler Warren is the best player in this game. He is just stupid versatile. My guy's 6'6", 257, running go routes and is mossing people. Like he is a matchup nightmare. There's nobody that matches up with him in college football. Xavier Watts is going to be, like I said, an NFL prospect. He will have the task, I believe, of trying to take him away. Here's the deal. He's going to get his. Now, is him getting his 100 yards? Is it 1 touchdown and 54 yards? I don't know, but I promise you Tyler Warren with that sweet bucket of lettuce, that nice flow coming out the back, he is going to have a major impact on this game as he is the best player in this Orange Bowl. So to recap it, Notre Dame's Jordan Faison, best true wide receiver in this game. To me, he's number 10 on this list. At number 9, Penn State safety Jalen Reed. At number 8, Penn State running back Nick Singleton. At number 7, Penn State defensive lineman Dennis Sutton. At number 6, quarterback for Notre Dame Riley Leonard. Staying in the quarterback vein, Penn State's quarterback Drew Aller at 5, Katron Allen at 4, Xavier Watts at 3, Abdul Carter at 2, and Tyler Warren at 1. So here's my problem. I got 1, 2, 3 Notre Dame players of this top 10 on my top 10 players list. And I picked Notre Dame to win the football game. I'm not backing off of it, but I'm just saying, like, the overall talent differential here, I don't think it's quite as massive as this list makes it look. But there's a lot of dudes now for Penn State that I think just have to be on this list. You could argue for Mitchell Evans, the Notre Dame tight end, to be on here. You could easily argue for Howard Cross, I mentioned, even though the health concerns me, he could be on this list as well. Bo Collins could be on this list. Like, you could argue for a lot of Notre Dame guys, but I picked Notre Dame. Okay, so if you want to talk about bias and lean, like, I've leaned Notre Dame in this game. I've shown my cards, and I got 7 Penn State players in this top 10. We're going to freaking see. But again, that just goes back to me, to the traits of who Notre Dame is and how Marcus Freeman has that team playing right now, and also the injury bug that's bitten Notre Dame in a massive way. Spoiler alert, though, Notre Dame, they don't care. They do not care about the injury bug. They don't care about this list. But it's worth noting now, 7 of the top 10 players, in my mind, in this game are going to line up in those Air Force One equivalent of the Penn State uniforms. So, curious to hear y'all's thoughts. I'm sure there will be zero pushback on that top 10 list, as we always do whenever we put a list out. I mean, it's usually unanimous, 100% agreement across the board, and, yeah, just good vibes everywhere.